everybody. This is Thelangstonjoules
and PaperMade.
And we are
Black Hypothesis. STEM for the culture.
God damn. PaperMade, is that you?
Yes, it is. Oh
God
my gosh.
Dang. I haven't seen you since the last episode, man. What's going on?
It's been a minute, but I'm good.
All right. Cool,
Can't complain. Cool. You know, just trying to survive these pollen attacks.
Pollen and these gas prices out here.
Like, everything is gas prices for you.
With these gas prices, it gotta be about the gas prices, right?
With these gas prices, I ain't going nowhere. With these gas prices, you better survive a party without alcohol, because I ain't making no trips to the liquor store.
Yo, that's gonna be my 2022 excuse for everything. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense with these gas prices. But anyway, so besides gas prices, it's absurd. So I was going through my yearbook. It's crazy. I was just going through looking for something. Mm-hmm. I never found it, but I found my yearbook. So I was like,
so wait, you opened up the yearbook and didn't find what you were looking for?
No, I was looking for something.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to say what it is.
Oh, okay.
But I never found it.
Secrets.
That's going to be for our Patreon episode. Anyway, let's say the thing. And so I opened the yearbook and I'm flipping through it and I'm looking like all the memories and stuff like that. And then I noticed there was a piece of paper in one of the pages. So I opened it and it was my very last report card from school. So I'm looking at it.
Good memories or bad memories?
I was so shocked that my grades were that bad. I was like, what
damn.
the hell?
Damn. But he still made it, y'all, so that's hopeful.
Oh my God, I still made it. Yes, I did. So I'm a story of trying.
So don't care about your last high school report card.
I was looking at these grades. I was so shocked. Like, I did this. It was like 70s all over the place, 60s. And I got one of my last math classes, pre-calc. I love pre-calc. In my head, I'm thinking, I love pre-calc.
Great memories. Pre-calc was the bomb. I was good at that class. And I look at the report card and it was like, maybe I'm...
I was like, what?
Oh, shit.
What the heck is this?
Thelangstonjoules, y'all. He made it to electrical engineering.
I took hella math classes in school and everything like that.
Wow.
I'm thinking, it's crazy how people just change and elevate through life.
You don't got to be good in the beginning.
You don't.
You just got to end up where you end up.
Right. So I'm thinking like math, like the way math is for people's relationship with math can change over time.
That's true.
And I'll be wondering like
you evolve.
And I wonder the types of people that can help make that happen for you.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, so what math teachers do I know? And now it's like, you know what? I have just the person.
Just the person.
And that person is here in the studio today.
Is that so? Where's she at?
All right, let's go. Professor J, come on now. Say what's up to the people.
How you doing? It's me, Professor J. What's up?
Yes.
There she go.
This is the woman, okay? The woman of the hour. I would prefer no one else to discuss this topic of mathematics and how Thelangstonjoules literally got a 65 on pre-calc.
We're not discussing that.
And ended up, I had to bring it up again. Like, people need to know. People need to know.
Yeah,
like,
but they heard it the first time. So
and here's the second time. You do not need to be the best at first,
right?
You know, and then you get good afterwards. And somebody who specializes in this introduces people to mathematics and shows them how your knowledge of math and how much you can care about math, you're building a passion for math. I would prefer no one else but Professor J.
All right, and before we jump into it, just a little bit more about our bio. So she's currently an assistant professor of mathematics working remotely in higher education. She has been a lecturer for over 10 years and not only educating students in mathematics, but changing the perspective of math for many. She is also the owner of a tutoring company, Help Me Professor J, which focuses on all math levels, including SAT and ACT prep, increasing scores between 60 and 120 points on the SAT and up to 6 points on the ACT math section. She also has a YouTube channel where she does short videos that help students with different topics in all levels of mathematics. And in addition to that, she is currently working to create and sell online math courses that are focused on different areas of mathematics. So we definitely want to learn more about that for the rest of the show.
Yes, yes. Help me, Professor J.
All right, so we're going to jump right to question number one. So, Jackie, thanks to you for joining us today. How about you tell us a little bit about your background, more about how you came to this place where you are in life, and who you are trying to become past in the future.
Good questions.
Yeah.
My background. So I'm obviously going to talk about my education because it was STEM related, mathematics. So I did do my undergrad in Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering with a concentration in aerospace. Poly.
Okay.
NYU Poly.
Yes, yes.
Shout out to the Meckies.
The interesting thing is, however, I thought, when I was younger, I wanted to do like astronomy and mathematics, and I thought there was no money. So engineering was the route.
Yeah.
And I determined that I didn't really like it. And I went on interviews and started, doing part-time, and I ended up going back to school and doing my graduate degree in mathematical sciences. And the interesting thing about that was everyone was surprised as an engineer coming from an engineering background into mathematics. And I was like, engineering is math. What do you mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So I noticed that there are lots of different areas of mathematics, and you learn a lot of different areas in grad school and focuses. And I was a graduate assistant, and I got a little bit of an idea of what it was like lecturing. And I mean, you have an auditorium of 100 students. So you are affecting 100 people in one shot, right? In one sitting. So I ended up really liking that. And then after that, I applied to, I went to the college, and I was like, hey, I teach math. They hired me. My first class was like 36 students, and I ended up loving it. So I have been lecturing mathematics, colleges and universities all over South Florida, for the past 12 years. And, I've gotten a lot of good feedback about how I present the information. And for me, it's more than just teaching mathematics, because it's about, changing lives. Like, that people are scared of STEM. They're scared of mathematics. They don't want to do it. Oh my God, you have to be smart to do it. I can't do it. Oh, I'm fearful. Like,
I hate math.
Yes, if I had $1 for every time I heard these things, it's like,
right. Okay, so I actually want to ask. So you said a term that is I don't think a lot of people are familiar with. You said mathematical sciences.
Yes.
People hate math. People hate science. So when you have mathematical sciences, what is that, like some sort of monster that someone created? Well, they're getting like hit from both sides, or what? How would you define that? For
me, the mathematical sciences was a combination. I was able to touch base into a lot of different areas of mathematics. So I did a little quantitative risk analysis, little operations research. I did a little data analysis. I did a little theoretical mathematics. So it was like, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of different areas of mathematics that I didn't know. You have the application where you have differential equations, and you have an engineering. Being that, I guess that was the sciences aspect of it, because I was able to see a lot of different areas and a lot of different types of mathematics. And
and the way that you can apply it.
Oh my God. That's the other thing. I'm never going to use this. I'm never going to use this. Please.
When is this ever going to come up again when I start my job? Like, never.
But you know what? You guys, everyone uses math every day of their life. You may not even realize. And just the critical thinking and problem solving skills that you gain just from mathematics, and the exercise of the brain muscles, because if you if you don't use it, you lose it, right? That's the whole purpose. That's the
purpose. Critical thinking comes up in everything, whether you're purchasing something or thinking about who you want to vote for, or what house you want to buy. Math is going to come into play at some point. And that's one of the things that we focus a lot on here. Actually, one of the videos that we did before, or recordings that we did before, talked about how I thought that it was interesting, because I have a theory, or at least I hypothesize that because math is such an old studies, because it's such an old science, there's so many things that we have to learn about it. And I feel like that could be a part of the reason why some people get so fearful. It's because you take a class and like, there's so much information in one freaking class. It's just like, how am I going to learn all of the things that you're trying to teach me right now? Because you're learning like hundreds and hundreds of years of shit, like one time, you know, whereas the newer sciences is just like, oh, we're still figuring it out, and you can help us to, you know, evolve this science. You can help us to explore it too.
Right.
The one thing about lecturing mathematics and teaching is that I get to take somebody coming into my course who hates math, doesn't feel like they can do it, lacks the confidence, and, you know, not necessarily the study skills, because sometimes it's also how you are approaching a topic. And this is relative to everything in your life. You know, if I can revamp their way of thinking and take them from feeling insecure about something and lack of confidence to, okay, it's not as bad as I think, it's a laid back atmosphere. You know what? I'm learning something new. I'm able to do it. Whoa, hold on a second. I made it through. What other areas of their life are they going to take that mentality into? So I'm changing lives at the same time. It's not just, you know, it's for me, it's more so affecting people in a positive way as much as I can, teaching them, you know, my mistakes and what I've seen, and you can do it. I don't care who you can do it. And I'm never going to use this. I tell people all the time, do you have a problem in your life? Do you ever have any problem? I don't care if it's math or whatever. Yes, you do. Everybody does. What are you doing to that problem? You're analyzing that problem, right? You have to figure out the knowledge that you have to help you determine a pathway to go. And based on your knowledge and your experiences and everything that you know, you're going to determine which pathway might result to the best solution. And once you get to that solution, it's either going to work or not. If it does, yay, move on. If it doesn't, you got to backtrack and go, all right, well, what did I do wrong? Reanalyze. This is mathematics. Yeah. So, I mean, even if you're not using x squared plus y squared is whatever, you're going to use the thought process. And, you know, there's a lot that I have to say about laziness nowadays. And this is making people, you got to be less lazy. You have to change your perspective, change how you're approaching things. And, you know,
some people don't like to think.
You got to think.
That's just that. They'd rather be told what to do rather than like have to figure out for themselves what I should do. I'm good at following orders, or I'm good at, if you just tell me what I should do next, I'll just do it. Can't you just tell me? But the truth is, being able to figure that out for yourself, you'd be able to come to a solution that you like. It's all about being able to really think about what's best for me, you know, and somebody can't tell you what's best for you. Who can best tell you what's best for you other than you?
And you only have yourself to blame.
Exactly.
And even if you make a mistake, you're learning from that mistake.
Yeah, and it's easier to take. It's easier to take. When I waste money, I'm just like, damn, like it's easier for me to take it if I got something that I really wanted rather than spending on something that somebody else told me I should want. And then I'm like, damn, this was a waste of money. I hate everything. I don't like you. I don't like you. I don't like this product.
It's true.
Give my money back.
You know, the other thing, this, right? You see this? What is this training us to do? Everything that you want, everything that you think about, you're basically coming to some information within 3 seconds. I mean, my generation, I think you guys are approximately my age. You might be younger, I don't know.
No,
but my generation,
I didn't have a phone till
what do we have to do when we had to do a research paper? We had to go to a library. We had to look up all this stuff. We had to read books. Now, no matter what you want, in 3 seconds, you have the answer. And what are you training your brain to do? Now you're spoiled in a sense, because now you expect something in 3 seconds. So you're training your brain not to think in depth, not to think past that. And so that's why it's also the laziness is happening too. And like this whole, hey, give me this this
entitlement.
Right. Microwave culture, just
we gotta convert that. Gotta change
That's true.
Absolutely.
We have to change it, man.
So I guess you deal with a lot of that. Like I didn't even think about that. Like the way that kids are thinking, oh, they got to have the information fast.
Completely different.
So they may get frustrated with something like math that may be abstract because it's not something they can get right away. You know what I mean?
And impatient.
Right.
Because it takes time to work through certain problems.
Right. So as a teacher and or as an educator, I should say, what are the most important skills you think someone needs to have in this day and age where we're teaching new types of kids, but it's still like basic math or math that is needed to continue to move on and just to understand how nature works and just how to live in general.
What do we need to enjoy this practice a little bit more so that we don't have as hard of a time learning it
or teaching it?
Teaching it.
First things first, anything that you do, you have to have a passion for, right? Because everything in our life is a job. You have kids, it's work. You have a husband, wife, it's work. You have a house, it's work. So if you do not like your husband, if you don't like your kids, if you don't like your job, like you're gonna have a problem. Your life is going to be miserable. You have to have passion in anything you do, right? So I mean, when it comes to mathematics, I noticed that for teachers, especially the younger generation, because I'm used to teaching college level, the younger they come in and there's always like a teacher that has affected them in some way. There's a sense of ego sometimes with instructors in STEM skills, math, physics, all that kind of stuff. The ego, because, I did something that's difficult, affects everyone. It makes them uncomfortable, right? So you need to put that aside because we're not necessarily better than each other. We're learning from each other all the time and we don't technically know everything. And the negative attitude, I've heard so many stories of one teacher, like when they're younger, affecting the rest of their life because they said something to them or vice versa. So, you want to be positive, you want to have passion, and you want to motivate. You want them to feel like they can do it, and you're not better than them. You're not smarter. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's equal. We're always learning, no matter what it is. We're always learning some type of new skill. So those, I think, are the most important, with anything that you do, right? So
and something that I think it's really interesting that you said you have to have some sort of passion or you have to love what you're doing or enjoy it in some way to really put that energy towards it. And I feel like that is one thing that these students that are saying they have that teacher who's affected them. How many times is it the math teacher? Like, you know what I mean? Because sometimes these math teachers, like it's like they can't put their mind in another space. They don't care. They're not as empathetic as we would think. Like, do you want this kid to like this class?
Quadratic formula.
Exactly. Exactly. Dry eyes.
I'm feeling the vibe here. This whole anti-math vibe here.
But that's the thing. It's just like,
we're gonna bridge it though.
But the thing is like, it's sometimes, like you're saying, it's meeting the student where they are. You're not better than them. You're maybe coming from a different space, a different environment in which you already have that passion. So you're trying to groom that passion into this student. Learning about the things that they enjoy and bridging that gap with mathematics and showing them how math has a place in that thing that you already enjoy. Math has a place in a lot of things that we do in general. So bridging that gap in classes to invoke that, to culture that kind of like enjoyment, it matters and it can do a lot. And I think that could be one of those, that that practice that ignites the passion for math that people don't already have, because a lot of people don't have it.
No, and I know that, and that's why I also love what I do, because they come into my classroom, and now I'm completely remote, but you come into, I've had auditoriums with 75 students, and for me, you walk in, you see me there, and it's like, what the heck? Wait, hold up. Wait, what's going on here? You do not expect, you expect, like you said, the older dry eye. Like, okay, let's do X plus Y. Nah, man, I come and I'm like, hey, what's good? How you doing? Let's do this math thing. And they're like, what? And I'm like, you can do it. Come on. Whatever. And so So I've gotten a lot of good feedback, and
You got the energy.
I've got the passion, right?
Yes.
I love math, and I love presenting information, and in a lot of different ways, because it's not simply math. It's I'm converting your perspective. I'm converting how you approach things. I'm converting, your way of life. I'm trying to help you, don't fear anything. You want to do something, do it. My dad always said, like, people talk all the time. The difference between the talk is doing it. Do it. Otherwise, don't talk about it.
Exactly.
So
about these, like the younger generation that you've mentioned as well, because I think that passion that you have, the way that it's coming through, I can see how they can enjoy your classes for sure. So something that I think is really interesting is, like, have you always been able to communicate and bridge that gap and meet people where they are? Because something that we've mentioned many times is, like, how important it is, even in STEM, even with the personalities and the studies that we do, it can be easy to get lost behind the desktop or lost behind the computer doing your calculations. A lot of us specifically choose these career paths that allow us to have fewer interactions with people, like I don't want to talk to people. I would rather just do my equations.
My corner?
I'd rather just write my code and nobody freaking talk to me. It's fine. Okay. And so we don't get the chance to build those social skills sometimes. And one of the things that we talk about here is, like, how important it is, even if you are attracted to a STEM field, how important it is to be able to articulate how you're doing something, why you're doing something, how you got to the solution that you produced, and being able to just enjoy those interactions, because a lot of how we get our promotions, a lot of how we get our jobs or meet people or build our careers has to do with how you can connect with people socially. So how do you think that intertwines with your ability to speak publicly? Because even that is difficult for some of us who like STEM, like speaking publicly, connecting with people that aren't our age, are younger than us, or even older than us. How do you speak to that in what you do? How did you develop that, and how is it so natural to you, it seems?
Growing up, I was a performer. I did do a lot of performances, singing and dancing. I think maybe that helped, but when I was in college, I did close up some. You go through life and problems and whatever. There's a lot of stuff going on in your life. And I closed up. And what happened was I was unhappy and I wasn't doing certain things that I enjoyed. And so it's about understanding who you are as an individual. You understand your flaws, understand your strengths, understand your weaknesses. And, you could recognize, like I could recognize I was in clothes. I was, inside, like, I was like, I didn't want to, open up. And for me, that was uncomfortable. And so my first class I ever taught at college, it was a statistics class. I have 36 students. They're either my age or older, right? So that was nerve-wracking to me because I had never done it before. Like, so I put myself out there. Whatever happened. I had to put myself in a situation that was uncomfortable. Gradually, I became comfortable. And guess what? Now it's there's no problem. I can go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So put yourself in an uncomfortable situation that you're not comfortable with, and then practice it. Continue to do that. If it's something that you want, I wanted to be able to, I would love to mentor to an audience. I want to be a mentor. And that's why I put my YouTube channel out, and I'm doing on these online courses. I want to be able to put a lot of what I have out. So, I put myself in uncomfortable situations, and then I got comfortable in those uncomfortable situations.
It seems like you got to know yourself a lot, honestly, to be able to take that journey. And that's something that everybody has to do or should do. I won't say have to, but you really should if you want to develop yourself into anything other than who you are today. And the truth of the matter is that we all have those spots of uncomfortability. You know, we all have those things that are difficult for us to do. And when you say that, that's something that I realize I myself, it's about being intentional, you know? And so I realized too that I can get into the place where I can be a little antisocial. So what do? I put myself into situations where I'm just like, I've always wanted to do that, but will I ever? And there's just like, girl, you always say you're gonna do something, you know,
Do it.
it's out there stuff, acting like you're really that girl, but are you? And I even remember one of those examples where sometimes it's not even career related. You know, sometimes, yeah, like one of my girlfriends, when her then boyfriend proposed to her, I was like, okay, so you know what we gonna do? Let's go skydiving. Now I'm gonna kill you off. Like, and it was really fun. It was something that we always talked about. Oh, we would love to do that, but then I was just like, at the same time, it's like you really don't know if you ever will, but you're just thinking, I would love to. And then we really did it. And that fear, that adrenaline was going the entire time. And there were times that I was thinking, like, I don't know if I'm going to do this really. I might just chicken out at the last second. But you're just encouraging yourself the whole way. And you're like, no, you're already, just get your foot onto the plane. Just get it onto the plane. And maybe once you get to that point where you can't turn back, do it.
Jumping out.
Right? You do it. And then you realize, oh, I survived it. Okay.
And then, like you said, the freedom that you probably felt. I mean, I've never gone skydiving, and I'm not preaching to go skydiving, y'all. That was for me. But go ahead. The freedom that you must have felt. I mean, you know, it's an amazing, my fiance skydives all day, all the time, loves that. And I'm like, yo, I don't know about me, but at the same time, I can imagine the feeling that you must feel, like that sense of freedom, like complete openness, complete freedom, complete, like, and that is an important feeling because, you know, like you said, you started with fear and then you opened up and you lost that fear. And now you're open. There's so many other things that you're going to be open to now.
And that's exactly what you said when you were talking about like opening up those students to mathematics. They come in with fear and then you encourage them and then they're like, oh, I can do this. And then you realize like, maybe it's not as scary as I thought it was going to be because apparently I can do this. And it gives you that energy that I can overcome a lot more than I thought I could. And then all of a sudden you're just conquering shit. Like,
So it seems like you have the passion. It seems like you have the drive. It seems like you have the empathy to meet these students where they're at, but also the passion to try to bridge that gap that could to them seem like way too far, but you can definitely encourage them to close it and show them that something like math, it isn't something scary. It is something that you can do, and it is something that you do want to share with as many people as you can. So could you tell us about some projects that you're currently working on to probably achieve that? Like what's your raison d'etre when it comes to math, I'd say?
I have a website. I do private tutoring. Helpmeprofessorj.com. I have a YouTube channel where I'm putting out, because I've had a lot of feedback from students where I can present information and they can understand it. So I thought, all right, let me try to put it out. So I have a YouTube channel where I do some videos, and obviously I'm revamping, you know, we all revamping and trying to get official. And then I'm in the process of creating online courses for different things, you know, different ways to help, you know, different categories, different courses, different things. And hopefully in the future, that's going to be like a whole big, my goal is to have, you know, these courses be credit courses and be a whole big, you know, anyway.
I'm loving it. See, and that matters too, because it's just like sometimes we think that the education that we have and the experience that we have in STEM is really just to be an employee all the time and run these equations for other people all the time. But the truth is that also there's an opportunity for you to develop something for yourself, you know, and build your own thing. especially when you realize what you have to offer to the world, and that obviously it's successful. People want it. And I realized that my favorite math teachers, or math professors or educators, were the ones that could not just be like purely objective about everything. They could connect with me and really care about how I learned. Mm-hmm. And so that I can definitely see being successful for you as well. So I'm glad you're doing that. People need that. That's sure.
That's what I'm hoping, because, it's true. A lot of math and technical people have this whole, not everyone obviously, but there is a stereotype involved, and sometimes it's true. And you don't have to be that way to be technical. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I hope the goal is to reach. I've had a lot of students that come to me and thank me for different things. And, even the first day they come up to me, thank you for being so real. And I look at them and I'm like, I mean, thank you for saying that, but wow, like it's surprising, because they're surprised at the fact that I'm being, so it's
like a good teacher.
I mean,
like
it's amazing.
Good at your job. This is just my job, but thank you. And it's just like, yeah, because there's a lot of people that don't do their job that well. Like,
maybe they don't like it, right? You have to have passion. And you know what? Everyone is good at something, right? So like you said, find what you're good at, find what you want to do, find what you're passionate about, and you can make it your own.
Yeah,
especially now in this technical world, like where we have everything online, there is something for everyone. It's amazing how there is something for everyone to do.
Okay, cool. So time is running out. I think this is a really great conversation. We have a couple more questions for you. You did mention how personable you are, and how that's also important when you're trying to convey information. And it seems like you talk a lot with the kids and stuff like that. Do you have any like good math jokes that you share with them to lighten the mood? Like, what's a good math joke? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
You know what? You're gonna be mad at me because I do not have a math joke.
You know what?
They be corny anyway. Nobody gets that.
I'm still on the search for a good math.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I've heard, like, even me, I hear them like, yo, don't do it. No.
Yeah, they're like the dad jokes. They're like the dad jokes where you get embarrassed with the person saying them. So I totally understand you staying far away from those.
I have my corny moments, but
I remember a Dave Chappelle one with Count Chocula. I won't say it, but Dave Chappelle and Count Chocula. It was pretty funny, I thought.
Now I'm gonna look it up.
Math joke? I have to look that up too.
Dave Chappelle is an all-time fave.
He's a genius.
I love Dave
Chappelle.
He's a special man.
Yeah, he is.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to mathematics as well, I just want to confirm, like, what do you think, like, technically and practically, are the parts of learning math or developing mathematical skills that tends to be like the most difficult for some students, especially students that are just like, are the ones that you've mentioned, I hate math, or this is just not my thing. I'm just not very good at numbers. That's, some people are good at numbers. That's not me.
First of all, take the wall down. That's always the first step. You're never going to learn anything if you have a wall up. You're blocking everything that's coming in. Once the wall comes down, the thing about the technical courses is that you have to change the way that you learn. Even me, I'm working on my doctoral degree, and it's a lot of papers, research.
Okay. All right. We got to take a break to celebrate that.
Thank you.
You can't just mention it. And we float on by. Go ahead with your bad self.
Thank you. But it's a lot of papers and research. And for me, that's a conversion of how I think. And I have to change the way I'm thinking and my processing. And I had to do that even from from undergrad to grad. So take the wall down first. You have to be open to learning, because if you're not going to learn. And it's just something else that you're learning. And yes, you have to convert your perspective and how you're approaching that topic, because you're not going to learn mathematics the same way that you're learning how to write, a paper. It's very different.
Yeah.
So you might need to practice those particular study skills. And then you have to be open to actually focusing and to doing the work and to practicing. You have to be open to being willing to actually doing the work. It takes practice. It takes focus. It takes practice. And that, you have to be willing to do that. So
Okay.
And for the listeners, I just want to highlight one of the words that you use, which is practice, because that's something that my dad always told me, because a lot of the other STEM studies that we have, like bio and chem, they take a lot of study. They take a lot of study
of topic.
and memorization and all of that. But for some, mathematics is not the same. It's not the same. It takes practice, which means pen to paper or like marker to board or whatever, where you're just doing it kind of like how you would do, basketball.
Yeah. Also for the listeners, if for the millions and millions that are listening to this, if you are interested in some of the resources that you are going to provide, and that is also already readily available, where can they access it? And also, where can they reach you if they have any questions?
I have a website. It's being revamped, but it works. helpmeprofessorj.com, and help me Professor J with just the J. So everybody called me Professor J, .com. And then my YouTube channel is also Help Me Professor J. And so everything will be, the courses that I create in the future is going to be associated with Help Me Professor J in a separate kind of thing, but you'll be able to find out about it on that website as well. And I have 2 little kids, I'm gradually doing things one at a time, right?
Mm-hmm.
At a time.
Mom, and like pending PhD.
It's a lot of work, one thing at a time.
We'll list all those that you mentioned in the descriptions when we post. So everybody, if you're listening, just go ahead to the bottom and look for the links.
All right. Well, thank you, Professor J, for having us. We love you having on, and we definitely want you to come back on the show when you definitely have it.
Guys, thanks for joining us today, and we hope you liked the episode. You can find us on all available streaming platforms, and please be sure to subscribe to this podcast. If you like the episode, go ahead and give us 5 stars. You can also follow us at Black Hypothesis on IG. We are also on Facebook. If you would like to reach out to us concerning any ideas for the show, critiques, or you would like to be a guest, go on and send us an email at blackhypothesis@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Peace.